First thing we'll do is we'll change both of these fractions into top-heavy fractions. So 6 times 5 is 30, add on 1 is 31/5. And we're going to take away 2 3s are 6, 6 plus 1 is 7/3. Now we want a common denominator, so we'll multiply 5 and 3 together. So we're getting a common denominator of 15ths. We then look to see what we've done to the first fraction. So 5 going to 15, I've multiplied it by 3, which is that number over there. So I'll multiply the top number by 3, so 3 1s are 3, 3 3s are 9, which gives me 93. What have I done to this number here? I've multiplied it by 5, which is that one over there. So I have to do the same to the top, the numerator. So 5 7s are 35. I now have two fractions with the same denominator. I now subtract the numerators to find the answer. That gives me 58/15. Now we should always change them into a top heavy. So 1 15 is 15, 2 15s are 30, 3 15s are 45, 4 15s are 60. Too much. So it's going to go 3 times. And the amount left over, we were too short of making 4 whole numbers. So we must have 13 15ths left. This one we're going to solve algebraically. So when we solve this one, if we've got brackets, we multiply out the brackets first. The 11 stays where it is. Now the number in front of that bracket is -2. So -2 times 1 is -2. -2 times 3x is -6x's. And that's less than 39. Now the next thing we do is we tidy up anything we can. So we've got an 11 take away 2, which is the same as 9. So we've got 9 minus 6x is less than 39. Now I'm going to leave the x's on this side, and I want to get rid of that there. So there's a 9. I want to take 9 away from both sides. The inequality sign stays the same. I'm left with minus 6x. The less than sign stays exactly the same. And 39 take away 9 is 30. Now at this stage I've got minus 6 times x, so I don't want to multiply by minus 6. So I divide by minus 6, I've got 30 divided by minus 6. Now when you divide an inequality by a negative number, you reverse the sign. So I'll reverse the sign. Now we can just do our sum. So 6 into 30 goes 5, and it's going to be minus 5. Right, now in this one we've got to calculate the size of angle BDF. So from B to D to F. So it's that whole combined part in there we want to work out. Now what you do is you start off, read the question, pick out any important points about tangents or angles and semicircles, anything like that. Right, so AC is a tangent to the circle, so there's a tangent. Now we know a tangent meets a radius at 90 degrees. Now there's the radius meeting that tangent down there. So I know that that full angle in there is 90 degrees. So that means then I can work out that wee part of the angle which is beside the 77. So in here, this angle here has got to be 90 minus 77, and when I take 77 away from that I get 13. So that bit there is 13. Now in circles you will always have isosceles triangles. There's a centre out to circumference, centre out to circumference, so that wee bit in there is also 13 degrees. Now we're also told that D is a diameter. Okay, so what do we know about diameters? The diameter going across there will make a right angle triangle with any point out in the circumference. So that means what we've got in here is, right out at the circumference, I have got a right angle. So that then means that I can focus on this triangle to find this angle. So all angles add up to 180. We've used up 90 and 64. So 90 plus 64, that will give me 154. So I want to take that away from 180. So 180 take away 54. And when I take that away from that, I get 26. So angle in here is 26 degrees. Now I want that full angle there. So angle BDF is equal to 13 plus 26, which is equal to 39 degrees. Now always make sure you underline the final answer, because these diagrams have got lots of answers written on them and you've got to see where the answer actually is. This type of question comes up in almost every paper. Okay, so multiply out the brackets. So what we do is we take the first term from the first bracket and we multiply it by the second bracket. Then I move on to the second term in the first bracket, and again I multiply by the second bracket. Now the second bracket is x squared plus x minus 2, and I'm going to fill that in, x squared plus x minus 2. Now all I have to do now is multiply out those single brackets. So x times x squared is x cubed, x times x is x squared, x times minus 2 is minus 2x's. Second bracket is multiplied by minus 4, so minus 4 times x squared is minus 4x squared, minus 4 times x is minus 4x, and minus 4 times minus 2 gives me plus 8. Now at this stage you will check every multiplication and make sure you have not made a mistake. We do not want to lose marks for silly errors. Now we'll gather like terms. First term will always stay the same, and that term will always stay the same, and we'll have to gather up the middle ones. So if we look at the x squareds, we've got 1x squared there, and I'm taking away 3. So I'm taking away 4, which is minus 3x squareds. And in this one I've got minus 2, and I'm taking away another 4 is minus 6x's, and we've got the plus 8 stuck at the end. Now those questions are easy for you to get marks. Make sure you check every single step. Find the standard deviation of 1, 2, 2, 2, 8, and it's equal to the square root of a, and we have got to find the value of a. Right, more and more they're giving you this here because it's a non-calculator paper and you're not expected to find the square roots of numbers, so they're leaving it as a square root. Now, to get a standard deviation, we first of all have to set up a table, but we need to work out the mean value as well. Right, but I'll draw the table down just now. So use your formula from the information sheet to guide you through this table. So set up your table, put your x's down the side and leave a space for x minus x bar, and we're going to square them. Right, so x bar is your mean. Add up all of the numbers and then divide by 5. So 8 and 2 is 10, 12, 14, 15. So that's 15 divided by 5. So the mean is equal to 3. So x minus x bar is 1 minus 3. Then it's 2 minus 3. 2 minus 3, 2 minus 3, and 8 minus 3. So answer to that one is minus 2, answer to that one is minus 1. These are all exactly the same, minus 1, that's equal to minus 1, and 8 take away 3 turns out to be 5. Now we check to make sure that you're okay and you haven't made a mistake. As positive number there is 5. Now add up the negatives, 2, 3, 4, 5. It should be 0, so that's okay. Now we want to square them, so minus 2 squared is 4. That gives me 1, 1, 1, and 5 squared is 25. Now we want to sum all of them up, so that's the sum of x minus x bar, all squareds, and we will add all of those values up. When I add them, I get 32. Now, we go back and we look at our information sheet. Standard deviation, the formula that you have from your information sheet, is the square root of the sum of x minus x bar, all squared, all divided by n minus 1. So that then gives us the sum. We've worked it out, so that's the square root of 32 divided by the number of numbers we had was 5, so that's divided by 4. So when we divide that out, we get the square root of 32 divided by 4 is the square root of 8. Now we can answer the question. A is equal to 8. Always go back, read the question, and then write down your final answer. We've got to find the values for A and B, and it's a sine graph. There's the S's. It starts at the beginning at 0, 0, the origin. Now, this number here is the amplitude, and it's the height of one of these parts here. So we know that A is equal to 4. Now sometimes that can be pushed up or it can be pushed down. It's half the distance between the top and the bottom. So right at the top is 4, down to the bottom would be 8 boxes, half it is 4. Now, the number in front of x, that tells me how many complete cycles we have in 360. So we have to count them. Right, there's one complete cycle, there's two complete cycles, and there's three complete cycles. So we've got 3x. Now you can easily learn those questions, and again, that's easy marks for you. It doesn't take a lot of work in, it just takes you a wee bit of time to remember what they are. So we'll write down our answers. A is equal to 4 and B is equal to 3. Underline them. Here we've got a parabola. It shows us that the turning point in this parabola is 2 minus 4, and we've got to state the values of A and B. So basically we're taking our completed square and we're going the other direction. Normally you're given an equation and you're asked to work down the turning point, so we're going back the way. Right, all you do is, to get this value inside the bracket, that bracket should be 0 at your lowest point. So we change the sign, so that becomes x minus 2 all squared, but the y coordinate stays exactly the same. Now, we'll answer the question. So it says find out what A is. So A is equal to, compare the two brackets, minus 2, and B is equal to minus 4. So that's just the reverse. Okay, so change the bracket, change the sign in that bracket, gives you 2 for your turning point and minus 4. You will definitely be asked a question on turning points and parabolas. So it's a fact. It takes you a couple of seconds to write it down. Please make sure you learn it. Now for part B here, we've got to work out the equation for the axis of symmetry. The equation of the axis of symmetry is another easy thing for you to learn. There's the equation. Right, it's a straight line, and that straight line starts off with x is equal to, and to find out what the number is, it's the number from your turning point, so x is equal to 2. And that's because every single point on that line would be, that one there is 2 minus 4, 2 minus 3, 2 minus 2, 2 minus 1, 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3. So the rule is the x coordinates are always equal to 2, and that's your equation for your axis of symmetry.